22. 22. Bring them in. Bring them in. At Discord, Roblox, Snapchat, Twitch. Wow. You know, one thing that is interesting here is majority of no one is so far talking about Facebook. That is interesting. Okay, that is one. So I'm giving you only 3 minutes to finish with that. If you have not, 6 people have not yet responded. If you have not, make sure that you are done. 2 minutes remaining. I'm taking you to the next one. So please also participate. Good. 5 people remaining. For the 5 people remaining, please do it. I'm taking you to the next one.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
Should we also answer on the platform that we have entered? We've gained
Menti.
with the password. Yes.
Menti. Yes. Answer it there. That is where we want it, so that we are in a position to see everything coming on the screen. Huh? Good. So Luca, Guto, and Lenny, you can still answer it on menti.com. Menti.com. Wow, 29. 2 people, 3 people remaining. Instagram, Twitch, TikTok. I think that is wonderful. Congratulations for that. So you can see that Instagram is leading. And above all, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, or 14 different social media platforms that you guys are talking about. Some that our parents might not be in a position to know. That is great. And Instagram is leading, followed by TikTok. Instagram is leading, followed by TikTok. So the TikTokers and the IG guys, we see you. Next one, I want you to go to this one. Go to this and respond. Go to this and respond. Go to the next one. I want you to respond to this other one that I want to give you, okay? I want you to respond to the next one that I want to give you. It will be appearing on your screen very soon. How often do you find yourself with the same keyword, the same code? How often do you find yourself waking up to check on your social media platform? How often? How often do you find yourself waking up to check on your social media platform? Key it in. Key it in. Key it in. Hi, the responses are coming in. Fourteen responses. 14 responses so far. Thank you for the people that saw that I was already muted. 14 responses. Thank you. 15. 15. Very often. Hey, hapa sasa ni wale wa I don't and very often wanafuatana hapa. Yes, least often. Often. Bring them. We have 16. And remember, we are waiting. 17 so far. Yeah, 15 still missing. We have gone past half. Bring them in. Bring them in. If by any chance you have arrived now, just write it. Go to, if you are using Zoom, okay, all of us are using Zoom. So leave Zoom and go to Chrome or Google. Or even if you are using we call it Mozilla, go there and type the word menti.com. Menti.com. It will ask you to key in a code. Use the code that is on your screen up there, 6052363. 6052363. I'm sending it. I'm sending it to anybody that might have not participated on that. I'm sending that to you. There it is. There it is. And it is interesting that majority of us, majority of us are waking more than 4 times in a night, more than 4 times in a night, to check on their social media platforms like the Instagram, the Facebook. Oh, you guys have not talked about Facebook. That is so interesting. Twitter, people are not talking about the same. YouTube, you are going to check what the other person is. What is the other person saying? The other person that DM'd me. What are they saying? Wale ambao walijaribu kuniambia yes. What are they saying? And again, it is interesting that we have also some that are not participating in any. That is interesting. That is great. So guys, that is the point where you want to start. If by any chance you have not managed to, you can still do that. I will project the results on the screen. I'll project the results on the screen, so you can still do that. You can still do that. You can still go ahead and key in the 2 questions that were there. It will be okay. It is important that majority of us understands different platforms that we are using, So it is so interesting that we know the platforms, so we understand what we want to talk about. And under this, we are going to learn about digital causes of sleep, the side effects of teen emotional regulation, identity and relationship, attention, memory, and learning vis-a-vis technology. And I want us to go through this. That is your mind. Look at your mind. Huh? Look at your mind. You can see your brain. That is your brain online. Hey, with so much happening in it. Outside here, we are seeing a person that is so good. But inside, there's a lot that is happening. So much of energy happening. That is an illustration as presented by MSU, a particular college in US, illustrating what happens in our minds. And because of that, these are the trends. This is important for you because I know that majority of us here are adolescents, and at the same time, majority of us here are falling between the age bracket of 11 to 19. So one, mental disorders in adolescents are common. That one you need to understand. Mental disorders in adolescents are common. Why is teacher talking about that? And an estimated 1 in 5 adolescents has diagnosable disorder. So if, for example, we are 33 here, the 33 of us, 1 in every 5 might be having this particular disorder, mental disorder. Adolescence is the time when many mental disorders first arise. So if you're an adolescent, this is the time that you're going to have these particular mental disorders. And why? Because of so many things that are happening to us. More than half of all mental disorders and problems with substance abuse begin by the age of 14. So if you're 14 and above, you might be asking yourself, hi, mbona naonwa hivi ama mwalimu ananionelea? This is the point. Most of us, at the age of 14, this is the time that we are trying to understand ourselves. We want to show people who we are. We don't want to interfere with our friends' tastes and preferences. So in the process, we want to align ourselves with what they want. And in the process, we find ourselves abusing the illegal drugs. Most prevalent, you're also told that most prevalent mental disorders experienced among adolescents is depression. It is depression. All that we are talking about, if you're an adolescent that you've, in one way or another, you found yourself suffering from this depression. I know for now you don't understand what depression is, but in the next meeting, in the next 2 weeks, we are going to discuss more about depression. Because since last month, I think on 10th of October, we were celebrating mental health. And that is why we have come up with all this. That is why we have come up with all this. So we want to discuss a lot. Our speakers, Mr. Shikuku and Madam Terry, they're also in, and they're going to give you a lot of all this. You are also told that with more in four high school students found to have at least mild symptoms of this condition. So if you're in high school, then chances are high that you are either having mild or acute part of it. But here we are to provide solutions. So don't worry, do not worry. We want to understand. We want to understand. Another trend that we need to understand is adolescents with mental disorders are at increased risk of getting caught up in harmful behavior, such as substance abuse and unprotected sexual activity. Adolescents with mental disorders are at an increased risk of getting caught up in harmful behavior, such as substance abuse and unprotected sexual activities. We are going to discuss much about that. These are just facts that we need to know. That many effective treatments exist for mental disorders, most involving some combination of psychotherapy and medication. But again, the group that we have here, majority of you, because we might not be knowing that we are having 1, 2, 3, we might not be knowing how we are going to get the solution. Again, people, our parents, as teachers, and most of the grown-ups, we believe that when you have mental disorder, then inahusishwa na wenda wazimu, which is not true. So at times we don't want to give, we don't want to go for help because we feel like, oh, if I go for help, then it means that mimi ni mwenda wazimu. You are not. It is not. The majority of adolescents with mental disorders do not seek out to receive treatment. A consequence of various barriers to care, including the fear of being stigmatized by peers and others. Telling someone that I went for guidance and counseling. I went to be talked to by a professional that is dealing with all this. You'll be seen as if wewe ni kama una shida mahali, which is not the case. So now look at the prevalence of depressive symptoms among high school students. That most of the high school students, that is the age of this is the year 2011, 29% of the high school students had depressive symptoms. Yani walikuwa na the challenges of depression. 29% of high school students. That might look as if it is small number, less, but imagine if you are the one. Imagine you are part of the statistics. Now, look at the gender. In terms of gender, girls, 36 of the 29% we are talking about, 36 of them are having these particular symptoms, while 22% of boys or male are having the same. So 29 is the biggest percentage, but girls are affected more than boys. And remember, high school students are falling between the age of 14, where we say that most of the mental disorders start happening. Now, let's go to advent of social media. I've heard guys talking about Instagram. Did you know that Instagram was bought by Facebook? And Facebook started in 2004? And that by 2000, there were no much of these social media platforms. That means 20 years ago, we didn't have much about the social media platforms that we are having. But look at what has happened 20 years later. 20 years later, we have like over 70 different social media platforms. Over 70 different social media platforms. You guys have named them: Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube. Majority of you here are either using YouTube or using Instagram or using TikTok. TikTok currently is the one leading in terms of the youth consumption, in terms of adolescents, because it's a platform where we want to go and show what we can show. And bad people and also the marketers have realized that you guys are consuming a lot of TikTok, and they are coming there. They are coming there, and we are going to find ourselves dealing with that. And you're told that Facebook membership doubled from 300 million to 600 million in 2011. That is 9 years ago. By now, how many users do we have for Facebook? And how many users do we have for Instagram and WhatsApp? How many users do we have for the other platforms that you guys talked about? It is a huge number. Remember, the world has over almost 7.7 billion people. And all these 7.7 billion people, these guys are using, a bigger percentage of them are using social media. Now, increased exposure to media. Look at that. increased exposure to media. And social media, it is supposed to make us to socialize, but at the same time, it is more about alone together. Look at that particular picture. Someone is saying, there's a lady saying, he had over 2,000 Facebook friends. I was expecting bigger turnout. Remember, this is this burial taking place. Okay, there's a requiem mass taking place, and we only have 5 people or 4 people. But on Facebook, the lady is saying that he had over 2,000 Facebook friends. I was expecting a bigger turnout. In other words, it is making us to be more apart instead of socializing and becoming together. Another statistics that I'll go very fast on that. 8 to 18 years old spend more time with media than in any other activity besides sleeping. So apart from sleeping, you spend more time on media. In 2005, 6 hours to 30 minutes per day. We are saying that 8 hours to 33 minutes of media content we consume. And we are told in 2010, 7 hours to 30 minutes per day we consume on social media, on these different media. So the number of consumption is increasing. And a study from 2005 says that 70% of teens aged between 15 to 17 have accidentally stumbled across pornographic online. 70% of us here, the people that are here, have ever stumbled on a pornographic material online. You are on Tubidi, you are on TikTok, and then a post comes. We will discuss more about that. And according to the article, kids are being kept awake by their phones even when they are not using them. Over 72% of all children have at least one device in their bedroom. You are keeping your device in your bedroom. Therefore, I want to give an opportunity to one great guy, that is Bwana Peter Shikuku. But before that, I want us to get ready for this particular great piece that Peter Shikuku is going to do for us. Bwana Peter Shikuku is a teacher, also a motivational speaker and a writer. And so I want him to take us through what are the side effects on teens' identity and relationship, attention, memory, and learning. Bwana Peter Shikuku, you are now free to go and please minister to us. Peter Shikuku, it is now your time.
Thank you very much, our coordinator, Mr. Tieno. Allow me to take this opportunity. Confirm to me that I'm clear. Am I clear?
You are clear.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome each and every guest that we have through this online today. We are glad that you have entrusted us and you've allowed us to speak to you as far as the technology is concerned. Just as you've been told, you are brought up in an era that the world is growing in very many ways. And we really appreciate the brain that God has given to us human beings, because each and every time people are developing new ideas, we are becoming innovators in one way or the other. And being that you are born in such a time, there are things that we must address in order to get the best out of you as you grow up. And some of these things are in relation to technology. You've been told the much effect about technology, the good effects. We also have the bad effects that we shall look up to. So we want to look at how technology affects our self-identity and relationships. We have two words there: self-identity and also relationships. And we talk about these things because, boys and girls, you need to understand that when we were created, we have our identities, and we don't need to lose our identities as a result of technology. As we use technology, we have to remain cognizant of our self-identities in order to remain the true people that we are, the true people that God created us to be, so that we don't lose ourselves as a result of our own innovation. Technology has been invented by human beings, but they should not now turn human beings into something else apart from what we were created to be. So as we bring, okay, as we bring an introduction of this particular self-identity, I've said that how we define or see ourselves as unique individuals, that
Bwana
is what...
Shikuku, just a moment. Bwana
Okay.
Shikuku, just a moment. Guys, I hope Bwana Shikuku is clear on your end. Shikuku, we have glitches, glitching sound coming from your end. But majority, can you hear Mr. Shikuku? Confirm through a chat.
Yes.
Can you can hear Mr. Shikuku? Michelle, now is it clear? Michelle, on Michelle's side, no. Okay, okay. Bring it on, great. So, Bwana Shikuku, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me hope that I'll be very clear and that I'll be of help to each and everyone who has logged in. So if you have a problem, just be communicating to the host so that we are aware. And thank you for that information. I have begun by saying how we define or see ourselves as unique individuals. That is what we call self-identity. Play a vital role. Vital means important role in who we are and the direction that our lives take. There is the unique person in each and every one of us. All of us are a human being, that is wholesomely, but each and every individual has what we call self-identity. I've seen that through social media or through technology, many people would want to live a life that they are not true, that is not about themselves. They are trying to fake life because they want to conform to the technology and try to fit into the technology. If you understand that your true self or that self-identity, if it is lost, then you might lose also the direction that your life has to take. But we want you to maintain the direction that your life should take. The self-identity encompasses the totality of knowledge and understanding that we gain about ourselves as we develop. And our development is on what we call personalities. Our personalities may be built or may be destroyed on how we use technology, how we embrace technology, and how we appreciate technology can either build our personalities or destroy our personalities. Our aptitudes can also be built or destroyed as a result of technology. But remember, we are talking about self-identity. In other words, your self-identity will be built based on your personalities, based on your aptitudes, based on your capabilities, and in your intellectual and physical attributes, interests, and relationships. So all these areas help us to build our self-identities. So because we are talking about self-identities, if I am Peter Shikuku, I should not lose who I am because of technology. I need to understand that my personality, my aptitudes, my capabilities, my intellectual, that is how wise I am, my physical attributes, how my body shape is, because those are things that affect our personal identities, our interest, what do I have interest in, and how relationships are. And when we talk about relationships here, we talk about relationship between us and our parents, us and our siblings, us and our relatives. All these things help us to build the relationship that again will also build our self-identities. So we gain our self-identities in two ways. Number one, we have to observe and evaluate our thoughts. Evaluate our thoughts, our feelings, and our behavior based on past experience, current needs, and future goals. I want us to look at those three things, boys and girls. There are past experience that can shape our self-identity. Then we have our current needs that can also help in shaping our needs, and then we also our future goals. Each and every individual who understands that we cannot write off our past experience will appreciate having gone through some of the things that you might have gone through. I may not know each and everyone's past experience, but giving an example with myself, I always say that after being born in early 90s, very early 90s, after being born and then growing up, losing my mother at the age of 4, it started. I ended up being raised up in a stepmother's hand. And there is one stepmother who took me through a past experience that I would not even want my own child to go through, or any person, or even my enemy to go through, because it was not a good thing. But that past experience has helped me a lot to build my personal identity. Then there are also what we call current needs. At your age, being a teenager, there are a number of things that you want to invent and to know much about and to learn much about. They will help you to either build your self-identity or to destroy your self-identities. And then we also have what we call our future goals. What is this person that you want to grow to be? You as a young teenager girl, you as a young teenager boy, who is this kind of a man or a woman that you want to grow to be? That is also helping you to work on what we call your self-identity. And because we are here for what we call self-identity, and how social media or technology is either helping to shape that person in us or to destroy that person in us, we need to understand. We also look outward to the world. Remember, the first ones were within. Your thoughts. What are the things that you think about? What are the feelings that you have? What are the behavior that you have? How have you developed your behaviors? All these things will help you to build your self-identity. Then number 2, we look outward to the world in which we live. For example, you are born in a time when there is what we call social media that is helping to shape your self-identity. There is academics, going to class and studying in the midst of your community, either helping you to build your self-identity or to become weak in your self-identity. We have what we call physical, and then the feedback we get. All these things are helping us to shape our self-identities. Boys and girls, when you understand that both the outward and the inward factors will help to build your self-identity, you may not appreciate the kind of a person you are. And that is why you need to understand that those two ways will help us to understand your self-identity. We really value what we call self-identity, because the moment you lose your self-identity, you lose your focus, you lose your rise to the future life that you need to live. So we are fundamental social beings. That is who we are. We are social beings. We are born of parents. We are growing in the midst of our friends, with our siblings, meaning we come together, social bringing us together. Essential part of our development involves finding our place in the social and cultural context in which we live in. You cannot find yourself, your development in the social and then you write out cultural. Or you cannot find your self-development in the cultural and you write off social context. So both social context and cultural help us to build ourselves. And to remember, our focus is not social identity. Now, feedback from that social world plays a significant role in the evolution of our social, of our self-identities. What did I say? Feedback. We need feedback. What do people say about me? What do society say about me? What do I say about me? How do my parents see me growing? And all these things helping me to build my self-identity or to destroy my self-identity. But our focus is that our self-identities are built up in the world that is growing, in the technology, that even as the technology grows, our self-identities are not lost. That's our desire. Well, that is our focus, that you don't lose your your self-identity. Because our social worlds have expanded dramatically in the last decade. For sure, I am happy that Mr. Otieno gave us the time when Facebook began. Actually, I didn't know, but now I've known that it began in 2004. By 2004, I was still in primary school, around class 6 there. But we realized, oh yes, I was a small boy by that time, but growing. So that is the time Facebook was founded. Look at how Facebook today is shaping the world. And in the shaping of the world, there are people that Facebook has destroyed their self-identities because they cannot develop constantly as a person. They depend on what comes from the technology to help them develop. That may develop you, but not to the extent that you need to understand, that you need to grow. So from families, friends, and neighborhoods and schools to an almost limitless universe of people due to the proliferation of the internet and social media, it isn't difficult to see how external forces may now be gaining a disproportionate influence over our self-identities compared with previous generations. Our fathers and our mothers in the olden years, they will tell you how they were relating, how families were strong, how friendships was very strong, how neighborhoods was very strong. School life, though we did not have what we call formal education, people used to have what we call informal education. But there was a way it played a big role in how people build their what self-identities. So boys and girls, we must appreciate the social media and what it has done. And we must also be very careful and cognizant of how much it can help us to build our self-identity, or it can destroy our self-identity in one way or the other. We are very much concerned that as we all grow, because we don't know how long we are going to live in this earth, but one thing we need to do is not to lose our self-identity as human beings, more so social beings that we are. That social beings that we are, we shouldn't lose it. So these social influences, accelerated by the recent explosion of technology, may be shaping our self-identities in ways in which most of us aren't the least bit aware. Sometimes we might not be aware. And these are the things that we need to discuss with you here. When we understand that, yes, we have technology with us, but again, we should not lose our self-identities, or the technology should help me to build myself, to build my self-identity, then we shall appreciate that technology is good. But if misused, then it also has its what? Side effects. So one of the most powerful ways in which technology is altering self-identity is through the shift from being internally to externally driven. And we need to, let me just expound something there. You know, when we talked about our thoughts and our feelings, our experiences, these things are within. And from within, we are able to develop because of how we think, how we feel, our emotions, how we respond to things. But look at what is happening. Many times today, instead of building our self-identities internally, we are building our self-identities externally. And my question will be, how will you build your self-identity externally while it should be within? How?
But Shikuku, just at that particular point, let
Yes.
me raise this. Most of us here are having different social media platforms, and you find that in one way or another, we will take a photo and post. We are so keen in terms of taking a photo and posting on social media platform, and not how people will see us internally. So we want to tell the world how we are when internally we are different. We have also other people that they might be going through a lot of hardship, but to the other world, they want to show the world how flamboyant they are. And I think it is also affecting the issue of the identity that you're talking about. let me talk about the musicians and the different personalities in this particular world, because most of this group that we are dealing with are understanding well the musicians. They are understanding well different personalities that we have in the world. You found that in one way or another, you go to social media and they are flashing out everything that they have. But after a few days or few months, you are getting information of how it is affecting their lives, how they were living a lie. And I think the point that you are talking about, issue of understanding ourselves internally and not externally, and being driven internally and not externally, is very, very key. Most of us, we are so driven externally. We want to show people who we are outside there, when inside us, we are suffering a lot. It's very, very important for this generation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that rejoinder. So, boys and girls, we need to understand that our self-identity growth starts from within. And when it starts from within, it will have more impact to the outside world, because we shall be understanding our identities from within. Let me ask you, this was another question. When you eat an egg from outside, you destroy that egg. But when you allow the egg shape from the science teachers will tell you how the egg is made up, whatever is making up an egg. As the egg is growing into maturity and allowing the chick to break forth out of the egg, there is life. And that chick, if destroyed destroyed from external factors, it is eaten as food. When it's allowed to grow outside from within and breaks out the shell of an egg, it becomes a chick that grows into an egg with a lot of confidence. What do I mean? We must appreciate our internal growth to help us shape our self-identities as opposed to the external factors that destroy us. Now, the sheer ubiquity and force of the latest technology advances have taken that influence and turned its volume up to a deafening roar. Technology is roaring. When I joined, I found when you are being asked to talk about your social media platforms that you like, and it is so amazing. We really appreciate it. It is amazing. And we are not here to condemn anyone. Boys and girls, don't take us wrongly. We are not here to condemn. By the way, we appreciate the world in which we live in. And we must grow to appreciate the world that we are living in. One thing that we don't want to lose is our self-identities. So that we don't say that because we are living in the technological world, we become techno beings, but not social beings that we have been before. We should not lose our social being, even as we become techno beings. Techno beings should not take the space of what? Social being. So, in previous generations, maybe the generation of my grandfather and my father, and somehow myself, I tasted it a bit. Most of the social forces that influence our social identities were positive. What does that one mean? Today, most of the social forces that influence our social identities are negative. Let's look at these ones. They were parents. And today, you realize that we live in a world. I don't know, Tino, you could have looked for this photo that shows a father on a laptop, a mother on a laptop, a child on a tablet. And
yes.
This is a family. How is this family building the self-identity of their children? If the mother is busy on a laptop, the father is busy on a laptop, and the child is also busy on a tablet playing a game. These games that we are playing, how do they build our self-identities? These are forces. These are social forces, but these ones are affecting us negatively. So there were parents. Parents were playing a big role. And even to date, we still appeal to parents. I'll be very glad if I thought there's even a parent at the background just listening to us. Parents, we have a big role to play in building the self-identities of our children. As our children are growing, they're like branches of a tree that are joined to the tree itself. They cannot grow on their own. They grow based on the tree that they are connected to. So our children are our branches, but some of our branches are growing in a very difficult life because as trees, we don't provide the best nutrients meant for the branches to grow. So parents, we have a role, and we are here to tell as boys and girls that connect to your parents. Please, the time you spend on social media, on technology, on Instagram, on Twitter, on whatever you are spending your time, should not be as much as the time you should spend with your parents. Just to listen to parents speaking into your lives as you grow. There is what we call peers. Peers meaning people of the same age with you. Those people that you are in one way or the other friends. The people that you learn with. They help either to shape you in a good way or on the wrong way. But in the past, peers used to shape people in a good way. So it played a role. Istotieno, the screen sharing is missing.
Yes. In fact, it was an interesting part of it, huh?
Yes.
And how it is affecting us. Continue. Sorry for that.
Then we have what we call schools. And boys and girls, have you ever asked yourself why, if not all schools, but almost all, don't allow children of your age to be in school with phones or tablets? Why? The school is helping to build your self-identity away from the influence of the gadgets. Gadgets are important and they play a big role. But if we don't control the use of gadgets, then we shall lose your brain development. We shall lose the brain development, we shall lose the self-identity because we shall depend too much on the social media or on the technology, on the phones, on the tablets and the things that we use. So schools are playing roles. The schools are still playing roles. That is why such things are not allowed to a certain age. Yes, you might have them at home. It is good for your communication and for your growth. But how does it influence your growth? How is your self-identity? So we have schools, we have communities. Nowadays worried because I remember growing. Sometimes I'm not that old, but in my time I can say that when I could make a mistake in the community, anyone in the community was allowed to punish me, and getting a punishment from an uncle or from an aunt was not a problem. Today, we talk about rights, which are good, and sometimes we overrate the rights because we live with children who have lost self-identity, and therefore, even the way they behave or react to the nature is different. Then, physical extracurricular activities. This is what appeal to all of us. There is noise in the background. I don't know where the noise is coming from. The host should help us. The host?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. So, thank you very much. So, as I was saying, extracurricular activities also plays a role. Boys and girls, apart from just opening books in class, what are some of the extracurricular activities that you involve yourself in? Because building your self-identity will require you to hang around with your peers, play football, at least do some athletic activities, do something that is helping to shape the self-identity in you. And even the media said mostly, in the past, media was sending some healthy messages about who we were and how we should perceive ourselves. But nowadays, there are some sites, and we need to talk about the sites. Please, not all sites are to be visited by teenagers as you grow up. If you truly want to build your self-identity, not all sites are worth or are healthy for your brain development and for your self-identity. So, yes, there were bad influences, but they were far outweighed by those that were beneficial. In other words, we are not in denial that in the past there were not bad influences. There were. But when we look at the good influences, they were more as compared to the bad influences, and therefore they outweighed the bad influences. So these forces acted mostly as a mirror reflecting back on us what we saw in ourselves, resulting in a formation rather than a change in our self-identities. In other words, what we just want to know, those forces were there, but those forces were acting as a mirror. You know, society is a mirror that helps you to understand the kind of a child you are, the kind of a boy or the kind of a girl you are. So you need to understand that. You need to understand that. Okay. Let's go to the next page. Second, social media has caused us to shift away from expressing our self-identities and toward constructing facades based on the answers to these questions. The first question, how will others look at me? That is a question that is disturbing many people. How will others look at me? And number two, how can I ensure that others view me positively? Don't we miss, when we look at these questions, don't you believe that there is something that is wrong with us? Yes, it is good we work on our reputation in the society. It is good we work on how people perceive us. But the first question, how do you perceive yourself as a teenager? How do you perceive yourself at home? How is your self-identity brought out? How is internally you perceive yourself? And how do your parents, those who are in your surroundings, parents, siblings, relatives perceive you? Because this desire of how will others look at me is making some people to live a double life. There is a life for the home, there is a life for the social media. And how long will you live two lives and yet you are one person? We are not talking about double identities. We are talking about self-identity. Meaning if it is Peter, it is Peter. If it is someone else, it is someone else. So, those two questions are there. And social media technology is making us to be much concerned about how will others look at me, or how can I ensure that others view me positively. The goal for many now in their use of social media, you and I, our goal becomes how we can carry acceptance, popularity, status, and by extension, self-esteem through our profiles and postings. Mr. Otieno talked about postings. Yes, we love postings. I do. I am a victim. I do postings. You go to my social media page, Facebook, you will find Peter Shikuku there. Just my page is Peter Shikuku page. And that page you will find a lot of photos that are done alongside some preaching. But one thing that we look at, number one, acceptance. We want to be accepted in the society. Number two, popular. A child at your age. There's a boy I know called Gidu. Victor Gidu is a young upcoming person at age 10. This young boy has followers at my age. I cannot match. So social media is not choosing. So long as you have content you want to popularity, status, and by extension self-esteem and through the right things. So self-awareness and self-expression give way to impression management and self-promotion. Able listen to those words. Self-awareness, self-expression, self-identity. All these things are talking about self. But our main desire here is to build ourselves. Awareness, our self-expression, self-identity, and self-promotion. Even if you want to promote, let's be mindful of our self-identity. Because through our self-identity, we promote ourselves better rather than living a double life and trying to please the society that sometimes makes some bitter judgments about us. There is a writer called Christine Rosen. In 2007, in an article, the article is called The New Atlantis. There was this question: does this technology, with its constant demands to collect friends and status and perform by marketing ourselves, in some ways undermine our ability to attain what it promises, assure us sense of who we are and where we belong? If we look at those things, there is all our attain what it promises. Social media has a lot of promises. Number two, a sense of who we are. And number three, where we belong. That was a concern. And it is a concern to us. And that is why we came up with this technology effect on the youth or on the teenagers. Please, there is a person we are, we don't need to lose. That is where we all belong to, which we need also not to lose as a result of social media. So the Delphic oracle's guidance was, please know thyself. Even as you leave this platform today, know thyself. Knowing thyself is helping you to know your self-identity. Today, in the world of online social networks, oracle's advice may be, show yourself. And that's what people are working hard for. They work hard to show themselves as opposed to working hard to know themselves. You cannot
But Ashikuku, as you continue for I think for the last 3 minutes you've been breaking a lot. You've changed your position, or maybe I hope now just maintain the same position, and then all will be well. You are breaking a lot for the past 3 minutes, huh?
Sorry for
I hope. Yeah, continue.
So okay, thank you very much. If I was breaking, there was a point I was putting a very strong point of, we live in a world where people show themselves as opposed to know themselves. Boys, before you show yourself, know thyself. Know thyself. If I know myself and I know what I am made of and where I want to move to, I think I'll be working towards maintaining my self-identity instead of losing it. We come to see our identities as those who would like to have, or that we want people to see, rather than who we really are. Why do we want to at least to please the world as opposed first to building our self-identities? We then feel compelled to promote and market these identities through social media. Take good photo, post it, listen to what people are saying, and then you make your judgment. The line between person and persona, private and public self become blurred or erased completely, and the so-called self-identity becomes a means of our acceptance and status. There are those two words. There are those two things I've talked about: the person and persona, private and public. We must balance between the two. I must balance between the person and the persona I am, and also the what? The public and the private. Some people have gone too private until they have forgotten their privacy. Some people have gone too public until they have forgotten their privacy. And how do you please the public at the expense of your own private life? You are losing your self-identity. Please, let's accept who we are in the society, so that even as we live with this technology, we don't lose our self-identities.
As you talk about that, as we go to the next part of it, of effects of technology on attention and memory of the teens, I just want to have a rejoinder on the same, that we really need to be keen on what we are posting, I know we love cars, our parents have good cars, and we have good houses, and we have so many good things. Those things are also attraction of the bad people. There was a story of someone next to a particular posh estate. Maybe you might be knowing that particular area. that I was so fond of posting images about every step that is happening in the house, even when they're traveling. This is something that is common to us, boys and girls. You post an image of us traveling to other part of the country. Instead of traveling, you posted an image of now I'm at the JKIA, or now I'm at the bus station, and now I'm doing what. And every step of the journey you are showing. In the process, something happened. This person was this family was traveling to Dubai for a vacation. And when they left, they showed people every journey that they were taking, and mostly Instagram photos. Way good. So now away to Dubai, and then enjoy yourself. 5 days later, when they came back home, they found the house empty. The house was empty. Why was it empty? There are guys that were following those particular information, and in the process, they came and took everything in the house without people noticing. And in fact, they thought that these particular guys, the people within that area residence, thought that these particular guys were moving out. And so these were movers coming to help them to move things out. So in one way or another, you're showing people whom you are outside there and losing your identity. And in the process, you lose what you are. Thank you, Banashikuko. Take us through this particular one.
Okay, thank you very much once again, my brother. Okay, so here are number one, we now have shorter attention spans and are more distracted. We remember we are looking at how technology is affecting our attention, our memory, and our learning. There is attention, memory, and even learning among the teens. Remember, we are struggling today because we have shorter attention spans and we are more distracted. Why do we have shorter attention spans? We know very well that we have phones that are helping us to store. So our brain is no longer given that much capacity of what it should retain. And therefore, we get distracted also. So I've written there, before the deluge of iPhones, nearly before the time of iPhones, iPads, and these devices, the average person had an attention span of about 12 seconds. Now it is believed that we can only concentrate for 8 seconds. We have lost 4 seconds on average before moving on to something else. And we get distracted. Even as I talk to you, I think my phone is in front of me. I talk before even 8 seconds elapses, I want to check something. More so when the data is full. Though I am disciplined because I don't want to give that which I don't have, my data is off so that I am off the distraction. I want to give my attention to you boys and girls. But ever since you sat down, if at all you are on a laptop or on a tablet and you have phone next to you, how many times have you touched that phone? So from 8 seconds to 12, from 12 seconds to 8 seconds, it is hard to stay on task with all the distractions we have these days. Sometimes it's always going viral. There are new trends to follow, and our phone lights are always winking to alert us to new messages. Remember, and that is why I can say this, that for the last 4 good years, you never hear a ringtone of my phone. My phone is always on what we call a vibration mode. That is how I have just put myself, I've disciplined myself that way. So that when I'm attending to something, I don't want the distraction of the good ringtones. And you can even see how Citizen, as a social media, I'm sorry to talk about this, but there is something nowadays we call Skiza tune. People are trying by all means to bring even funny things as Skiza tune to catch people's attention. So when you hear that Skiza tune, your attention is distracted. Even when you are doing something very important, which requires only brain concentration, it is no longer brain, it is phone concentration. It is distraction concentration. Very unfortunate for us. So these tech distractions affect our relationships, productivity, and ability to learn. Look at those three things. Our relationships have been affected. How? I had told you that nowadays, children would rather be brought up by phones and tablets or what? Laptops, as opposed to being raised up by aunties, by mummies, and by daddies, or by siblings. We cannot be productive enough if you don't have a long span of retaining information. Even if somebody asks you a question, maybe something has been said in the last 2 seconds or in the last 10 seconds that you are asked, what is this? You've forgotten. Why? Your attention span is very short. Attention span has become very short. And then
Bwana Shikuku, why don't we always forget the things that we see on social media? Why don't we forget them then? We are so much into social media that anything that is happening outside it, we can forget very easily. And you have talked about 12 to 8. And then on the other side, anything that happens on social media some years ago and we saw, we can still remember. It's so unfortunate.
The reason why we remember one, these sites are there, we can visit them anytime we want. So we keep on reminding ourselves because we have them at our disposal. So all of which require a certain level of concentration, boys and girls. Relationship requires attention or concentration. There's no way by which you can build a good relationship between you and your mother and your father and your siblings if you don't concentrate. How would you become a good child to mommy or to daddy if you don't concentrate? That when mommy is talking to you, you are holding a phone. When daddy is talking to you, you are busy on a Twitter. Our relationships are being affected. Our productivity have been affected. And our ability to learn are also affected. Number 2, we have improved our ability to multitask. At least we think we have. Why do I say at least we think we have? Sometimes we have not. Because sometimes someone is cooking, you have been told to prepare some tea. You have light up the gas cooker, at the same time the phone is on. You want to make something on the Instagram, you want to send a content, so you think you are multitasking. Sometimes that multitasking is not multitasking. It is foolish tasking, if I may call it. I'm giving it a name, I'm sorry for that. But we have to say these things because we are getting out of our true identities to something else. So many of us brag about how we can do several things at once. We say we can talk on the phone, watch YouTube videos, and compose email replies at the same time. While that certainly sounds impressive, research reminds us that performing different activities that rely on the same type of brain processing isn't possible. If your brain is concentrating on talking, you want to subject that brain also onto the email reply. You want to subject that brain on YouTube. Oh, boys and girls, research shows it is impossible. So doing so only reduces our brain efficiency and makes it harder for us to retain information. So you can see why we are losing retention. We are losing retention because of trying to subject our brains to multitask on several things that are not supposed to be there. We are punishing ourselves. Number 3, we have become tech addicts. We can call ourselves, if there is church alcoholic, there is churchholic, then there is workaholic. We also have what we call techholic, if I can maybe give it a name. We are so addicted. Please, it is our plea that we can control this addiction. Addiction is getting used to something that you cannot do without. How many of us here, boys and girls, can go to bed without visiting a site through our phones, through our tablets, through our laptops. How many? Very difficult. In fact, nowadays, what we carry to bed, we carry phones to bed, and as we wake up from our beds, we wake up carrying them. That is the life we have chosen to live today.
In fact, Banashikuku, when we did our test, when we were going through the menti.com, majority of the number that was there by that time we were 33, and the 80% of members that were in said that they check their phones at least 4 times in a night to check on their social media platforms.
We are addicted now. That one is what we are calling. We have become tech addicts. So I've said admit it or not, admit that. But I can say on my side as Peter, I have admitted. As I go to bed, I normally carry this. I'm eating. My one hand is eating, another one hand is on a phone. But we can change this. So you are guilty of stopping work to check your phone once the message tone pings, or stealing a few minutes to check your Twitter timeline or Facebook feed. I don't know whether it happens to you, but that is the reality. It happens. There is a certain gratification that comes with seeing new notifications and messages, which is why some of us compulsively check social media platforms numerous times each day, spending hours blissfully scrolling down those pages. You move from WhatsApp to Facebook, from Facebook to Twitter, from Twitter to TikTok, from TikTok to all those pages, some that I cannot even tell because I am not a fan of those many pages. But even as you are a fan, control that being fan so that you are not addicted to it. Because too much addiction to this will lead you to losing your attention, your memory, and even affecting your learning and even affecting your self-identity. So even worse, some individuals end up suffering from video or mobile game addiction. How much are you addicted to a particular game or video? Yes? What we need what we call rehab and professional help to detox or to leave these things. We need. And this is why we have come up with this kind of rehabilitation. We are here to rehabilitate us. We are rehabilitating us to avoid this addiction. So the reason for this is simple. Technology has built in gratification that stimulates the pleasure centers of the brain, keeping us coming back for more. Every now and then, I want to visit one site or another or another or another. So that addiction is there. Then our face-to-face interactions have been undermined. Do you know, boys and girls, even as we talk to you today here, study room KE, which I belong to, we can also admit this. These are some of the talks that we need to do physically when we are seeing our clients, but we still understand the times that we are in. So in this case, we appreciate it has helped us. But boys and girls, our desire is to do what we call face-to-face interaction as we talk to you, because it is very important. Have you ever been out with friends and at some point noticed all of you who are spending more time staring at your screens than chatting with each other? Suppose you are in the family car. Only the driver is concentrating on driving, but the person seated on the left and those who are seated on the back seats, people don't story. Driver is concentrating on driving, the rest are busy on their screens. Look at the house. In the sitting room, maybe dining room is adjacent. One person is at the dining room, another person one corner, another person one corner. People don't talk. Even in our own homes, we are losing face-to-face interactions. Very unfortunate. It is not much better seeing me through the screen. Right now, you can see me as I talk to you. But how much would it have been better when we add what we call face-to-face interaction? So, okay, or during your train ride, realize everyone was busy on their cell phones. Obvious to the world, we have technology to thank for turning us into zombies. Technology has turned us into what we call zombies. These days we rely on emojis to express our feelings and prefer online interactions to in-person conversation. You want to laugh, an emoji is put there. You want to show you are crying, emoji. You want to show that is the world we live in. Hey, boys and girls.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is even worse. If you look at that point, it is even worse for kids and teens who have grown up in the digital era, since many haven't developed conversation skills or learned to read social cues. As a result, many miss out on major aspects of natural communication. Some children today cannot address people confidently. I have tested that. There is something I tested on Sunday. I was preaching to some children in a school, and when I called their prefects and I asked them to address us, some children could not address people looking at them straight. They were either looking down, drawing some things, or busy touching their hands or fingers. And we have lost that aspect. Boys and girls, how you address your parents? While on a phone, some people are very confident. In law, they will talk to you confidently, meet them one-on-one. They cannot address themselves well. So please, we have lost that. The next one, number five, we are becoming more forgetful. Why do we become more forgetful? We know that there are sites to be visited. Research has revealed that many millennials are more forgetful than seniors, something that can be attributed to the constant use of technology. In order to remember something, we need to move that information from our working memory, that is conscious mind, to our long-term memory, and this hinges on our attentiveness. But thanks to technology, we are constantly taking in new information, barely having enough time to think about it and commit it to memory. People don't want to consume. They talk about that is time consuming. So technology is helping us to control time consuming. But in reality, it is affecting our retention capacity and our memory. So this impacts our memory and makes us more forgetful. Boys and girls, we have become more forgetful as a result of this, because we know very well people normally save. You take a photo, you save. You write something, you save. People save even their voices. So when they want to remember something, they go to the site. Hey, while technology has countless benefits, it also has some drawbacks. The best way to have a balanced life and mitigate some of the negative effects of technology is to commit to setting aside our mobile devices for a few hours each day. Please, if you are studying, most of you are studying now online, but can you also do your physical studies whereby you are not on a screen, you are seated down with a book? Put your phone away, put your laptop away, put your devices away, and concentrate on what you're doing so that it helps you to build on your attention and memory. I hope I'm very clear on that. So meditation and exercise, number 6, we have no time for exercise. This is also something else. Children, exercising is helping us to develop fully, but remember, we are affected. We don't want to get time to exercise enough. We have no time for exercise. One of the biggest difference in the way that children live today is that they don't get as much exercise as they used to do. In the past, some of us, we were walking distances going to schools, running up and down. We had like two times for break. We go and just run up and down, jumping, doing things that were helping us to develop. Madia's left you in the house. At least even to play in the small compound you have, it is either time to sit, watch a TV from morning to evening, or on a phone, or on a laptop, or on a tablet. So you are missing time to exercise. Please remember, exercising will help you to develop the person you are. So this is because technology such as computers, smartphones, and television encourages them to be sedentary when they get off from school, as opposed to going outside and playing with other kids. A child would rather run to go home, not because they want to play, but because they want to go back to their Twitter pages. They want to go to the Facebook pages, WhatsApp, and check what is posted, what is there, what is running. Boys and girls, we can control it. I call upon all of us to take our time. Let's look at those things. Let's remember we have a self-identity to build. Let's remember we have memory to build. We have attention to build. And we need time to learn. When we do all these things, we shall build ourselves. And therefore, I have not refuted technology. It is good. We need it for many things. But let's remember, we also have self-identities to build. May God bless you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for taking your time.
Thank you, Mbana Shikuku. Wow, that was an insightful piece, huh? And very, very interesting. One part that I like most out of all the things that you've said that are so good, there is this part of we have no time for exercise. And it is true, if you go to the developed countries, and more so, let me refer to USA and UK, the people that have advanced in terms of technology, before we get the technology to this our side, that currently the statistics shows that most of the children in USA and the people in USA are suffering from obesity, And reason being is because of the comfort that they are having, comfort in terms of doing other things. The technology has come in a way to solve problems, but in the process also affecting our health. Therefore, make sure that you exercise. And the last part that Mr. Shikuku talked about that is so interesting is most of us here, when we are told by our parents about something, then you will always try to bribe by saying, mami, utanipa simu nikimfanya hivyo, ama daddy, nikimaliza utanipa simu. So the phone is the motivating factor. And ukiambiwa kwamba uende usome, hiyo inaudhi sana. Lakini go and enjoy with the phone, play the game. PS what? We want to do that. My birthday gift must be a PS what? 5. Yeah. And then, mom, mimi nikiturn 18, I want iPhone 11. That is what I want, my gift. Yes, swag. But above all, we are losing the social world. I want us to go to the Chrome again. Go to Chrome, and also Google. Go to Chrome and Google. There is some question that I want us to try and check again. Let's jog our minds. Someone is asking, hi teacher, could you kindly send the file for today's teaching? Don't worry, all is well. It will be okay. Don't worry. But for now, let's go to Google Classroom. That one is called Google. Or go to Chrome. And then again, the way we did it. Go there. Remember, how often do you find yourself waking up to check? Mr. Shikuku has already explained this. How, for the people that took the first role, you know the effect of it in your life. Madam Terry is coming to talk about so much about it. But before Madam Terry takes us through that in a short while, I want us to go here. I want us to go to this particular point. Go to that particular point. Go to that. Good. We are using a different code. Okay? We are using a different code. So the questions, you have two questions. And they want to handle or deal with what we are going to learn or what we have already learned. So the first question is here. What would you rather do? Pick. The code is 495249.8. 495249.8. 495249.8. That is the code. 495249.8. That is the code we are using for now. 495249.8. For those people that don't understand how we are doing that, you are going to you go to Chrome or you go to Gmail, not Gmail, the Google, and write menti.com. When you write menti.com, You key in the passcode. You key in the passcode. Let's see how it is faring. We've started receiving. We have started receiving the results. Good. One person so far done. What would you rather do? Bring them. Go to menti.com on Chrome or on Google, and then you write. You put the key, the passcode. Passcode is 4952498. What would you rather do? What will you rather do? 10 people so far have given their results, and the results are fast and furious. The question is, what would you rather do? The first one that is so far taking the lead is, I better visit a family member, mom, father, bro, or sister, and have a face-to-face conversation of what is affecting me. Second one that is following, I better call a family member, mom, father, bro, sister, but not to have any conversation on what is affecting me. The third one is better call a family member, mom, father, bro, sister, and have virtual conversation of what is affecting me. Bring them. We are remaining with 20 people. 20 of you, please bring them in. We are waiting. If you've not understood how we are going through it, go to Chrome or Google, and then type menti.com. When you type menti.com, key in the passcode that is there, 4952498, and then from there, you do your thing. I'm waiting. So far, number one, face conversation. Visit the family member, have face conversation. Keenly being followed by, I better call a family member and put and then have not to have any conversation on what is affecting me. Kuna haja ya kusema. Bring them. Yeah, now, number three, whatever I was talking about, I better call a family member, but not to have any conversation affecting me has been overthrown. Now it is, I better call a family member and have a virtual conversation of what is affecting me. Leteni. Yeah, having like 3 minutes for that. 3 minutes for that. Bring your views, please. So number 4 is, I better visit a family member, but not to discuss anything affecting me. Kuna haja kusema. Haya, zilete. Waiting. Let the number increase. So for those who are using, I've sent already the passcode for you. We have 2 minutes remaining for that. And for that, 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining. So in other words, the bigger number of people that are in this particular forum are saying that they'll better visit a family member and have a face-to-face conversation of what is affecting them. Now, if this particular question was to be posed before Mr. Shikuku did his presentation, then things would have changed again. Number 2 would have been number 1. And it is true that most of the people, most of the millennials, there's the word that Mr. Shikuku used, most of the millennials, these people of the people born in this particular millennium, the millennials 2000 going upwards, they are more about dealing with things virtually. We are so active virtually than physically. I better call a family member. If you check number 2, I better call a family member and have virtual conversation of what is affecting me than face to face. It is increasing in number. So as we continue with the results of the same, I continue posting your results. I will show you the final results coming in. So I want Madam Terry to now take us through a different forum that is so interesting to us. Madam Terry, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Bwana Otieno.
How are you?
I'm very well, I'm blessed.
Yes. These guys would rather have conversation with their parents or family members face to face, but at the same time, we have those that feel like they'll rather have a conversation virtually than face to face. What is your take? Madam Terry?
Hello.
Ah, good. There you are. We can hear
Yes,
you.
you can. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes, yes, loud and clear.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Otieno.
Yeah.
My colleagues, Banashikuku, young boys and girls, and on this from afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to be sure that you have heard me. So I've had quite a lot from the people and Mr. Shikuku, and I'm happy about the topics of today. From
Go ahead, Madam Terry.
know and what they don't know. They don't know. So that is very interesting that they know social media platforms they go into. There is so much that they know that some of us even don't know. And again, also from the questions that they have been given, they also know so much, and it is interesting. It is interesting. I'm happy about the teens that you're talking to this afternoon.
Yes.
So I want to go to my topic of today. And before I go to my topic of today, Madam, Mr. Shikuku has told us that due to the digital era that we are in, our concentration has decreased so much. And I want to believe that since we started talking from around 2, it is now over 1 and about half an hour gone, seated on the same seat, trying to listen and get the meaning. So I want to ask young boys and girls, just take 1 minute, rise up, breathe in and out, and then sit down. 1 minute.
Wow, that is interesting. Now we rise up and breathe in and out. Okay,
Yes,
we rise up.
yes.
I'm
Yes.
also doing. I'm also doing so.
You're also doing
And
so.
make sure that your video is clear. We want to see you rising.
Oh,
Hey, Shelmith is stretching that much.
Thank you very much, Shelmith. Shelmith, that is good. Sandra Jemima, that is good.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you breathing in and out. Thank you. Thank you.
That is good.
Thank you.
Shikuku, you also Shikuku, we are not doing kung fu.
I want to believe everybody has done so.
Yes.
Yes, I can see Shikuku responding there. I can see the mother. Thank you, all of you. So allow me to go out now to the next topic about how technology has affected us in terms of sleep and in terms of the lifespan that we have. And I want to start with one thing and say this. Digital era is a good era. And actually, as Chikuku said, we are not here to say that being digital or being the technology people is a bad thing. No, we appreciate that we are in such an era, and it is good because it has helped us to know so many other things. So from the script, you can see I've said there, why are we in love with technology? Why are we in love with technology?
Oh, your network a bit glitchy. Madam Terry.
Some 4 bullets that I've put because they are the major ones. What do I mean is, yes, Mr. Okino?
Your network was giving us some issues. Now it is better.
Sorry, now you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I was saying, why are we in love with technology? And there are 4 bullets that I've put here. They are not the only ones. There are many other reasons, but those are the major reasons why we are in love with technology. The first one is that there is easy connectivity. Easy connectivity meaning that every human being social beings, we want to connect. We want to connect with each other. We want to connect with our loved ones. We want to connect with our colleagues. We want to connect with the world out there. So there is easy connectivity that comes with technology. And the reason why every individual, including the elderly today, they are in love with technology. Is there a hitch somewhere?
You are okay?
Okay, thank you. And then the bullet number 2 is about learning. I want to appreciate that COVID-19 has introduced us to e-learning. It is out of the situation that we are in currently in the whole world that e-learning has been really embraced. It has been embraced by the society such that even the young children, recently I was talking to my colleague who was telling me that her young children's teachers who are in PP were sending them notes and saying that they want the children to be learning through the technology. So what does this mean? That technology has been embraced so much because it has introduced us to e-learning that is there from the young to the old.
Yes.
That is the reason why we are in love with technology. Number 3 is about relaxation. We must all appreciate and understand that we are in a society where we have so many structured activities. For example, as we are teens who are in schools, we have so many structured activities from being in school. We come back home, we have homeworks, we have some activities that our parents and our guardians want to undertake. We have so many other things that we must do before we go to sleep. And even us who are working, we also have many structured activities whereby you wake up in the morning, you want to rush to work, you want to get busy working. After work, you want to rush back to the house. And there are so many things that are structured that every day you know that when I wake up in the morning, I will do this and the other until the day comes to the end. And by the time the day comes to the end, we are so exhausted. So what am I saying? That technology is one way of helping us to relax from the structured activities. We get into some relaxation by getting into some sites that is, as you've said, trying to see what is happening currently, trying to see what is new in the society and many other things. So we are in love with technology because it helps us to relax from the structured activities of the lifestyle.
Wow.
Number four is about motivation. And what am I saying? Is that each and every one of us, including us and the young ones, is that we like receiving likes on our social medias. We don't like posting. We post something and you want to see somebody has reported there by putting a like. So receiving to continue. Motivation. That is why we love technology. What I've posted photo, I've posted how my day was, I've posted a quote, I've posted something, and somebody has liked that posting. So out of it, it motivates me that I want to be on the social media. It motivates me.
Excuse Madam Terry, you are muted. You are muted. Unmute yourself.
To like the technology. However, sorry for that. Sorry for that. Somebody here. So what I'm saying is that this motivation, however, it can lead us to being hooked onto technology, and as a result, we get addicted. Chikuku has just talked to us about addiction. Let's go to the next.
That is so interesting.
Slide.
That is so interesting.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, from having learned why we are in love with technology, we now want to understand how is this technology affecting us? How is this technology affecting us? And so my next slide is about technology and sleep deprivation. And we are saying that they are intertwined. They are intertwined. Technology and sleep deprivation are intertwined, and they pose danger to mental health. My dear viewers and listeners, it's good to note that the development of a human being is at peak during teen period. And I think this one we have said over time, even last time when we had the other discussion, we are saying that it is at teen period that development is at its peak. And so as teens, we are not able to make concrete decisions on avoiding frequent use of social media. And this affects our developing brains. I want to take us back to the photo that Mr. Otieno gave us when we were starting about a brain that was like boiling. There was some boiling part of our brain because of the technology. What you're saying out of that photo and out of this discussion is that as teens, when all that is happening within our brains, we are not able to make concrete decisions on avoiding frequent things that pertain to the technology that we are in currently. Yes, Mr. Otieno, thank you. Take us back to that photo. Thank you. There is that first photo of a brain that is like boiling because of the technology. Yes, thank you. We are almost there. We are almost there. We are almost, yes, that one. That says this is how your brain is online. One time or another, either on Pinterest, on Instagram, on Twitter, name them as you mentioned in the beginning. But what you are seeing there is that there is an impact of technology on our mental health. You can see that brain there, it's like it's boiling because of the many things that are happening in the brain through the technology. It is boiling. Again, also we can see the next one here, the increased exposure to media, how it affects us. We are like burdened with so many things. There's a lot of battling of our minds because of the media that we get exposed to. Yes, take us back now to my slide. Thank you, Mr. Otieno. I wanted us to reflect back to that because sometimes we may not understand, but it is very important for us to know what is happening to our brains when we get into these online activities now and then. Take me to the slide that we had before, the slide about technology and the next one. Thank you. That is the technology and sleep deprivation. What we are saying is that as teens, being in that stage where development is at its peak, for sure we are not able to make concrete decisions on avoiding frequent use of social media. No wonder the reason why many of us, when you ask a question, we found ourselves that we wake up at night about 4 times to check on whether there is any whether there is any message that has come in. However, this affects our developing brains. Kindly note this, that smartphones, and I'm just using smartphones as an example. In this case, I'm talking about the technology at large in many ways. We have iPads and all that. So kindly note that smartphones give an artificial blue light, which activates some neurons in the brain. And these neurons, they disrupt the body's ability to produce a natural sleep-inducing hormone called melatonin. What am I saying? I'm saying that by having frequent use of these smartphones, there is some artificial blue light that activates some neurons in our body. This may be more scientific, but I want to thank God because you are students and you learn these things also in school. So there's some artificial blue light that comes in as a result of using the smartphones, and this activates some neurons that disrupts, get the word, they disrupt the body's ability to produce a natural sleep-inducing hormone called melatonin. What are we saying? We are saying that during the night, there's a natural hormone that comes in and induces our body and causes our body to feel sleepy. No, the reason why when night comes, you just feel sleepy. You just feel sleepy. So there is that hormone that induces sleep. But because of this artificial blue light, it deactivates it deactivates this hormone. And so this affects the quality of sleep. In addition to causing sleep problems, the blue light can also cause retina damage. What are we saying? That this blue light also, apart from causing us to have less sleep or less quality sleep, it also causes us to have some eye problems. My dear listeners, research has found out that smartphone addiction could cause a chemical imbalance in the brain. Imagine, my dear listeners, that a lot of smartphone use, in other words, the technology use, it could cause some chemical imbalances in our brains. And imagine also that we have said that it is at this stage that our brains are developing. Yet there is some chemical imbalance that is coming in because of technology. So we better be cautious. We better be careful, affecting us in a minute. From the screen that has just come in, what are we saying? As research done and published in the Journal of Youth Studies, this is in America, it found out that 1 out of 5 teenagers wakes up in the middle of the night to check or send messages on social media. This is just a confirmation of what you young ones said when you were asked how many times you check on your phone, about 4 times. It is just a confirmation that this research is true. This research is very true, that 1 out of 5 teenagers wakes up in the middle of the night to check or send messages on social media. I don't know what kind of messages they said. I don't know what kind of messages they expect, and so they want to check on it, but it's unfortunate that this is what is happening, and this affects our brains. So this routine is one of the reasons why teenagers are sleep deprived. And this leads to some or all of the following. What are we saying, my dear young boys and young men, young women, or young ladies? We are saying this, that as a result of this waking up at night many times just to check messages, and also using the smartphones that have some lights that are affecting our eyes and many others, this kind of a routine is one of the reasons why teenagers are sleep deprived. What are we saying? That it is one of the reasons why our sleep patterns have been so much changed. We don't sleep as we expected to sleep. And I remember we said last time that as a teenager, our expected moment of sleep is between 8 to 10 hours. I don't know how many hours you sleep, but it is supposed to be between 8 to 10 hours. But because of the use of technology and this routine, we are deprived of our sleep. So what happens when we are sleep deprived? Some of these reasons lead to these issues that we are talking here in these bullets. And the first bullet says, we become unproductive the next day. Imagine, as a result of waking up at night 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times at night, the following day we become unproductive. I don't know whether, as you're talking this, you're trying to recheck yourself and see whether, have I ever been like that at one time? So we become unproductive. Number 2, we get into insomnia. We get into insomnia. And then number 3, what are we saying? We get fatigued and sleepy during the day. So it's not only that we are unproductive, but we are so fatigued, we are so sleepy during the day. We are so sleepy during the day until we don't concentrate because of being sleepy. Bullet number 4, we are left yawning and lethargic the next day. We are left yawning and lethargic the next day. What are we saying? Lethargic, it's that state of being weary, that state of being weary, and that it involves diminished energy in your life. There's a lot of diminished energy in you. So because of being sleep deprived, we are left yawning and with lethargic even the next day.
Oh,
And then
okay.
Bullet number 5, we have trouble waking up most mornings. I don't know how many of you, your mama and daddy and your aunties and all those who take care of you, they struggle in the morning waking you up. You know, they really struggle. They call you, they tell you, you know, Charlie, you know, Michelle,
Pour cold
please
water
wake
on
up.
you.
They call you out the time. Yes, and you cannot wake up. Why? Why? It's because you are sleep deprived, and being sleep deprived, these things come into being. So you have trouble waking up most mornings. And then the other bullet is we experience irritability and mood swings. What are we saying? We experience emotional difficulties. Emotional difficulties. We are so irritable. Anything that you are told, you have a lot of mood swings. You are just there. You don't understand. You don't want anything. You're just there. The next bullet says, we become hyperactive and have nervousness. So, as we must also understand, we are very different. We are very different human beings, and being different, these results that I'm writing here, they happen to different individuals differently. It's not all of us who struggle in the morning. It's not all of us have mood days. It's not all of us have all that. But we have different things that happen unto us because of being sleep deprived. So we are saying the next people that we become hyperactive and have a lot of nervousness. We are just there, a lot of nervousness in us. Then we have trouble concentrating in class, leading to poor academic performance. Imagine, because of being deprived, and this was as a result of a lot of technology, waking up at times, at night, times, just to check on whether somebody texted, somebody chatted, somebody said something. So we have trouble concentrating in class, leading to poor academic performance. It's so unfortunate, my dear young ones.
So unfortunate.
Then we develop aggressive behavior. Yes. Yes, it is so unfortunate behavior. You are so aggressive.
Your network is breaking.
Just there. Of a repetition, but we are saying
your network is breaking, Terry.
We have poor.
Excuse, Terry. Excuse. It seems your network doesn't.
Yes,
when it gets to the part of performance,
yes,
your network doesn't want to hear anything about performance. So I work on it, and then again you pick it from where you talked about. We develop aggressive behavior. Yes, develop aggressive behavior. Continue now. You are better, I think so. You are breaking.
Yes, but not. Am I now?
Now you are clear, loud and clear.
Am I? Yes. Now I'm better.
Yes, yes.
Now I'm clear.
Yes, very.
Thank you. So we are saying we have poor or lower. Sorry. Am I off?
Now you're okay. Whenever you mention poor or academic performance, it goes off. Now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh no, my network wants to be poor. No. We are saying this often. Also, that there is some physical difficulties. I had Mr. Shikuku.
Wow, this is interesting. This is interesting. The network is giving us headache from Terry's side. Guys, on physical difficulties, just the same way Mr. Shikuku explained, and how I explained it. Statistics shows that we are having the issue of weight gain.
Doing exercise with social relationships.
Madam Terry, I hope you can hear me now.
With social. Yes.
Now take it from trouble with social relationship, your network.
Okay.
Continue.
Thank you. So we are saying that in addition, we get trouble with social relationships. What are we saying? That we are more relational on the social platform. We have trouble with social relationships and many other few other problems. So there are many other causes that come with being addicted to technology. What are we saying? What are we saying at the end of the whole matter? We are saying an ongoing sleep deprivation greatly affects depression. It brings risk-taking behaviors. It brings substance abuse, and there's some emotional regulational problems. What are we saying? Sleep deprivation as a result of technology affects our teen depression. It affects us, causing us to take risk behaviors. It affects us, causing us to go into substance abuse. It also leads us into emotional regulational problems. So imagine all those problems that are coming as a result of sleep deprivation. So my dear young ones, let's just start and do what it is necessary. There is a noise coming from somewhere. There's a noise coming from somewhere. Somebody needs to mute. Somebody needs to mute. Thank
Otieno, you are muted. Otieno, you are muted. You are muted.
Okay. Go ahead, Madam Terry. Unmute yourself.
Thank you.
Madam Terry, yeah, go ahead now.
Thank you. Sorry for that. So what are we saying? We are saying that technology is not bad. It is good, as we saw from the beginning, that we like it because it makes us to interact with others, it makes us to learn, it makes us to relax, and many other reasons. However, as a result of using technology so much, there is a lot that comes with it, and one of them is sleep deprivation, which leads us into all those things that I've mentioned there above. Now, in the slide that we have here, it's about emotional regulation. Emotional regulation. We are saying that technology can lead us to being emotional beings that do not know how to regulate ourselves. So emotional maturity takes a long time. This is what you're saying. Emotional maturity takes a long time. It's not a one-time thing. It's a long-time thing because it starts from when you are born all the way. Even as we are still a bit elderly, we are still maturing emotionally. Young children, they have emotional upbursts, what we normally call tantrums. And as you all know, okay, when you look at young children, you find them, they just have tantrums here, they get tired, they get annoyed of anything small. So they have emotional outbursts. But as we get into tweens and teens, we start controlling the outbursts. What do we mean? We become self-managers of our emotions. We become self-managers of our emotions. What I'm just saying here is that, my dear young one, as a teen and as a twin,
Okay, Madam Terry.
A teenager as a twin. We are waiting for that.
Yeah,
you are
she's having
supposed now to be extra your
no problem.
that
No problem. Madam Terry, I think you work on your network as we finalize on this part.
There's a miss here.
Yeah, continue. Network problem.
There is a problem. Okay. So as teens, we have a lot of hormonal changes that contribute to emotional imbalances. A lot of hormonal changes, as we said, we are saying that it is in this stage that we have so many development going on in our lives. The physical development, the emotional development, the intellectual development, all manner of developments are happening at this stage. And it's the same way that there is a lot of hormonal changes that come in this stage. And these hormonal changes, they contribute to our to some emotional imbalances. There is a research that was done by a Newport Academy in America. There's a research that was done by them, and it found out that late night texting and phone use were linked to depressed mood, lower self-esteem, and reduced coping abilities. So what are we saying? That as we look at emotional regulation, We are looking at it in line with our use of technology. We who have found out that we like late night texting, it has some effect on us. As per that research, we have just found out that a lot of people that use technology at night, texting and all, doing all that, they have so many changes and challenges that come emotionally. What are we saying? When we don't learn appropriate self-regulation, we take up maladaptive strategies or behavior. We take up maladaptive strategies or behaviors. What are these maladaptive strategies and behaviors? These are such as avoidance of emotion. This is where you find maybe as a teen, you have messed up something, and mommy and daddy maybe comes and tries to talk to you and quarrel you and tell you this is wrong and all that. And because you are annoyed and you are angry and all that, sometimes even some of our parents also beat us sometimes. And you try to avoid crying, you try to avoid being yourself. So there is an avoidance of the emotions. The next bullet is there is some withdrawal. Some of us, we withdraw from everything. So even eating, sometimes even eating, we withdraw from eating. When we are caught into eating, we say, I don't want. When you're caught into taking, I don't want. You're just there. When you're told, why are you in bedroom? I'm okay. So we withdraw from everything, even interacting with our siblings, interacting with our parents, interacting with our friends. We withdraw. This is an maladaptive behavior. It is not a good one. And this one is as a result of having no self-regulation. We need to regulate our emotions. Another one is aggression. Aggression being so aggressive things. Then we have get into excessive social media. Thank you. So excessive social media. Some of us go into, we are just on game. Anytime you're just on social media, niko kwa game. Again, excessive gaming. These are maladaptive behaviors. And then the other one is about loneliness. Loneliness in the midst of connectivity. There was a photo that was shown there, or a clip that was shown there about somebody, as a young lady, a lady who was showing like they were in a burial somewhere. And the person that was, and the people that had attended the burial, they were just about 4. Yet this person had about 20,000 likes on his social media. What are we saying? You can be lonely in the midst of connectivity. You can be lonely in the midst of connectivity. And there's a study that was done by a Dr. Weston and shows that people are wired for connection. And without connection, we can feel lonely, which can eventually make us feel depressed. And then we run the risk of premature death. What are we saying, Maya? We are creating a self-awareness that our emotions, self-regulation, and and social skills greatly affected by a great role on our emotions. It plays a great role on our lifespans. We need to be aware. We are just but creating that awareness. As I cut all these things, after having known all these things that you're talking about, what should we do? Bullet number 1, observe, establish, and lay down guidelines on technology use in our homes and schools. We must appreciate that some of our homes, we have some guidelines pertaining to the use of technology. Let us observe them. Some of us, our parents have told us that let's observe the guidelines.
Breaking. Madam Terry.
We must also appreciate that they are not Madam a punishment. Terry. They are just for Madam making us better.
Your network has a is now not that clear. Let me just finalize on this particular part, guys. Guys, sorry for that. Just to wrap it up, Madam Terry, let me wrap it up. Let me wrap it up on this particular end as you work on the network, and then we make it better now. Let's make it up on that. So one, Madam Terry has talked about what we should do. What we should do, which is very, very important. It is very, very important. So what are the things that we should do?
Hello.
Yes, Madam Terry. What we should do?
Hello.
Yes. We can hear you. Just give me a moment on that. Guys, we are told that we observe and establish laid down guidelines on technologies, both at home and school. And you found that at home, your parents have said that you're not supposed to use a phone at this particular time. Madam Terry, go ahead on point 2. You are breaking. Okay. Be intentional about your well-being. Switch off the gadgets you're told at night, or keep. You've been told about the blue rays, so be very keen with the blue rays so that it doesn't interfere with your sleep pattern. It is very, very important. If you must use the device at night, use nighttime mode that reduces blue light emissions. And then you're told practice healthy, balanced digital habit. Moderate on social media and electronic device use. Technology has many benefits when used responsibly. Have other non-tech activities, e.g. cookery, drawing, playing music, and instrument. We found at our homes that we are being given some conditions by our parents not to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is called phone detox, or even social media detox, where you're not supposed to have the media at that particular period of time. Some of the families, you find that every Saturday, Sunday, it is a weekend of no use of social media or even the phones, just to make sure that it's a moment of bonding together and understanding one another. That is not punishment. That is a way of making sure that at least we go out of the normal norm. Then you're told, have digital etiquette, avoid sarcasm, and this will help avoid cyberbullying. Refrain from responding immediately, especially when angry. Not all text, comments, or chats require a response. Just be more of a guy that is following and seeing, and don't respond when you feel like something bad is going to happen. Always remember, if you are going to respond, the response you're going to give, if it were to come back to you, will you behave the same way you expect the other person to react? Will it be the same way? If it is not the same way, then please don't chat. Have digital etiquette. And then establish relaxing bedtime routine activities that don't involve device with screens, e.g. prayer, listening to music. Even listening to music, listen to music that will not interfere with the balance of your brain. Listen to inspirational music, the instrumental inspirational music, the reading time music, the music that are so soothing to your ears. If you've gone to, for those people that have found themselves going to hotels, some of the big hotels, in their toilets, there is a different type of music that is playing that is different from outside. If you go to massage parlor, you will find that the music played is totally different from what is there. So if you same to library, we have some libraries that are playing music, but they are soft music. Those are the music that you're supposed to use to study. Then keep safe. Observe digital safety by not entertaining one or one-on-one meeting with people that you met online. This is a story that happened. I gave you some time back, a story of a girl that met someone when Facebook started. She met someone on Facebook. Someone promised her or told her that she was coming. The person was coming from US, only to find that the person was not from US. The person raped the girl, and the girl was found. The girl was found unconscious at Uhuru Park. And then what happened later? That changed the girl's life, because later the girl turned out to be pregnant and became a mother. And so many things happened in her life. So always don't be that fast in meeting people that you don't know. At the same time, if you must, inform your adults, the parent, of 1, 2, 3, 4 that you're going to do. You've heard of 2 stories of last month of people that disappeared. One girl in Upper Hill disappeared. Another one at Mudhurwa just disappeared, but later they were found. Always be very keen. Then seek help where you feel threatened. Don't keep it to yourself. Seek help. Seek help, and you are going to be helped. Mostly when you are going through the cyberbullying, seek help. Have your bedroom lights dim if possible. For those that participated in our sleep versus mental health, we talked about dim light that is very important for you as you sleep. Boys and girls, my point is this. There is something called screen time, 20, 20, 20. As I finish, mark that word, 20, 20, 20. 20 seconds of your sleep, 20 seconds of looking at your screen. And anytime you look at the screen for 20 seconds, have 20 seconds that you don't focus on the screen. And within that particular period, focus on something else for 20 seconds again. That will make you not to have retina problem. It will make the blue rays that is coming from the phone not to interfere with your eyes. It is the rule of 20, 20, 20. 20 seconds when you look at the screen, spend another 20 seconds to look outside or look at something different for another 20 seconds. Then you come back to where you are. Ending quota that is so very important to us is that technology is a useful servant, but a dangerous master. Know that Christian Louis Lange said that technology is a useful servant, but a dangerous master. If you use technology in a good way, so many good things will happen. And that is why we didn't measure on the positivity of technology, because we are doing that already. But if we measure on if we don't concentrate on the negativity part of it, we've heard of girls, boys that are taking their lives because of being depressed, because they can't handle what is happening on social media, because someone promised them something and they didn't want to open up. And in the process, they end up doing something, and these things are taking them to wrong things. We have bad people that are also on social media that are going to initiate you into different activities. If you use social media in a wrong way, it is going to sway you into a wrong thing. And you'll find yourself at the bottomless pit where coming up might be a problem. I want to end at that particular time. Bwana Shikuku, I hope you are there. Madam Terry, I hope your network is okay. Now you can, Madam Terry, you can end up with giving us final prayer for this particular boys and girls, so that as we leave this particular forum, they're in a position to know when to use when to use a particular technology and when not to use. Because by the end of it all, technology will be part of our lives. Bwana Shikuku, anything you want to say?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Otieno. Allow me just to take this opportunity to thank every boy and every girl who joined us for this particular session. I love it where we have stopped. You've said that technology is a useful servant, but a dangerous master. Boys and girls, we would want you to understand that if it is a useful servant, let's be the master. Let's not turn it to be our master, but let us be the masters who are going to manage this technology. Remember, your self-identity is your self-awareness, will help you to build your self-esteem and will make you a better man or a better woman. Don't misuse the technology. Use it to the best of your growth and to the best of your development, so that you don't lose memory, you don't lose attention, and you respond to learning. God bless you. See you next time. We are very grateful that you honored us and you joined us for this section. May God bless you. Thank you very much, Mr. Tieno.
Thank you, Bwana Shikuku. Madam Terry, Madam Terry, you're there?
Thank you. I'm there. Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you. Give us a prayer, Madam Terry, so that we wrap it up.
Okay, thank you. As I pray, I want to say this. Thank you so much for being there for more than 2 hours. It's not easy, but may the Lord bless you, and may whatever you have learned be of importance in your lives. Let's pray together. Father, we thank you and we bless you this afternoon as young ones that have been talked to. We commit our whole for the parents that even given this to listen unto us this afternoon. I pray that you bless them in the name of Jesus Christ. And all the young ones that have listened unto us this afternoon, pray that in the name of Jesus Christ, none of them will become a prey to the enemy because of technology. None of them will be drifted away from the ways of the Lord in Jesus' name. None of them will be taken captive because of this technology. But above Father, they will be there even to be able to become better people in our society, in our times, and in their times in Jesus' name. I speak the blood of Jesus upon them and even upon their young ones, upon their parents, upon their loved ones, in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you for everything. We worship you and we exalt you, even because you are God. Preserve them and take care of them. In Jesus' name we have prayed.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Madam Terry, and thank you to everyone. And above all,